Hey guys, James here from 5 Star Rating 22. Just got done watching Terrain Noob's next update. He's coming along pretty good. This is going to be a tough one, but figured I better give you guys kind of an update where I'm at and then, some other nonsense like, Subway cookies, those white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. Oh my god, they're so good. If you have never had the white chocolate macadamia nut Subway cookies, you're missing out. Like, oh, I can't even tell you guys. They're amazing. They're all soft. They're like grandma's cookies, but I can't lie, they're like better. I gotta save part of that for later. But anyways, so all right, guys, went and did some shopping and stuff like that, and here we go. So I'm gonna do a bigger one this time. I wanted to have like usually grave like cemeteries are pretty like spread out, if you know what I mean. Um, I went looking around at a bunch of cemeteries after work last night, or I guess it would have been this earlier this morning. But yeah, I went and looked and stuff, and like I looked at three different ones. One at the town I live in, one at the town next to us, and then one in Rice Lake, which is about half an hour away. I went shopping and went and mulled around Wally World, which I spend way too much time and money there most of the time. Bought a bunch of cool things though, and one thing I'm going to show you later on that's really cool that I found there, that like someone had left me a comment, and I actually found something that kind of uh, it's kind of like what they were talking about. But anyways, what I'm doing here is I'm cutting out. This is like it's about 24 inches wide by about it was like 28 to 30 inches long. So nice big chunk, and this is 3/4. This is 3/4 inch foam here, and I get my foam from like go to like Menards or one of those big places, Lowe's, something like that, Home Depot. They might have it, but they're really cheap. Like you can find foam there cheap. I mean, I got like a 4x8 sheet for it was like eight. I think I paid eight something for this 3/4 inch. Pretty nice, but yeah, so I'm gonna use this a little bit cheaper, and I wanted to kind of you'll see here how I'm gonna do it, but you can see I just kind of cut out a weird edge to it to give it kind of a different edge, and then I'll work on that later. But I just wanted to get the base structure cut out, and then what I'm gonna do here is just taking some other pieces, and I'm just gonna cut out some hills to add on. So I just cut out the rough shapes, kind of figure out where I want them and stuff, so you can see there. That's kind of what I'm going for. So then, I'm gonna take and angle them later and stuff. But it's always good to double check, what you're doing. So then I use my hot wire cutter again, and just kind of cut out an angle. And when I do this part here with the hot wire cutter, I'll leave like a little bit of an edge on the, I won't bring it down to right to a point, and I didn't actually, this time I didn't want it like quite so like slowly sloped. I want it in nice kind of harsh slopes, because I'm not going to be worried about like having miniatures right on the hills, on the hill corners and stuff like that. I didn't worry about that as much this time, due to the fact that like if you do it nice and inclined, you can have miniatures going up the hill. But if you don't do it inclined, you can just make it like kind of a steeper, like a sharp turn to a hill. Like it goes to a hill really quick from the ground, so then you're only looking at about an inch depth to that spot anyway. So most of the time your miniatures aren't, or you can improvise and they won't land in there. And also I wanted to show you when you do this, like when you cut the edge, it's easier just to watch one, like the side where you come to the point. Just watch where that wire is, and just pretend like you're drawing a line straight down the foam, trying to keep the same width. Like just try to draw a line straight down. Otherwise, especially like if you do it like all wavy like I do my first cuts, it helps out a lot just to watch one line, and that way you get a nice pretty even, nice straight kind of thing. I don't even worry about like the angle or anything like that. I just worry about where that line is, because most of the time if I keep my wrist at the same like degree, and I just watch that line, it'll stay at pretty much the same angle around most of the hill. So, and then what I'm doing here, just laying out pieces, and just make sure, obviously I don't want the hill that's going to be laying on top of the main base to be over the main base underneath or overhanging. So, it's good to lay your things out and make sure you're doing it right. And again, guys, it's easier to take away foam, than to try to put it back. So make things bigger usually. Usually that's what I do. I like make things bigger and then chop them down to size, for what I need, because it's easier to do that than try to add them back and stuff. It's not terrible hard, but it's still easier. It's easier to cut it away than, put it back. So you can kind of see there what I'm going for. I'm going to have like a path coming up there, mausoleum in between the two hills, and then like, some tombstones and different things like that, on the edge, and then do like I want to do like some decorate. I got some ideas of how I'm going to do it, pretty much, but I wanted to get everything mapped out and kind of show you guys my main how my main look bit's gonna be. So it's gonna be pretty big. Hey, what's that guy with like those that electric god that has like the lightning bolts on like on top of his head? Like I can't think of it. I don't know, but that's what those things remind me of. Oh yeah, and then like when you cut out a bunch of, especially with like the wire cutter, keep an eye for like some of the chunks that are a little bit bigger. Like I keep those in a box on my desk, 'cause you never know. I mean, like if you go to make something small like a ball out of the foam, or tombstones, a lot of those chunks, that's might as well use them. I mean, I know foam's really cheap, but still, hey, if you're trying to save money, save some of those chunks. But then the rest of it, I just throw it away right away. Otherwise, some people like save all their scrap foam, and oh man, it just drives me crazy. Can't have it all over. But if I find like a cool piece, sometimes like when you chop up a bunch of foam, you'll find like really cool pieces that look like something. So, and then then to smooth it down to a corner, what I use is just a nice like coarser sandpaper. And you see here, I just made my own like sand block out of just foam, just taped it on there. And what I did, I sanded down, with I think it was 100 grain sandpaper, just for the edges on the hills, because it doesn't have to be too smooth. Because that stuff's gonna get, glue and gop and gloop and paint and flock and all that stuff over it. So it doesn't need to be, perfectly smooth. But if you're making other things, like what I'm going to show you guys here, what I did was I cut out inch-long blocks. Now this is my 1-inch green stuff, just some scrap chunks I had around. So I'm cutting it out 1 inch high by, and then so you can see here, trying to keep it nice and square. And I'm hoping to get a nice table foam cutter from a guy. If you look at my favorites list, there's a guy, he does like hotwirecutter.com or hotwireinfo or something like that. I'm trying to talk him into, making me one, since I don't have time, and since he knows how to make them and stuff like that. I'm trying to talk him into making me a nice little one, so I can chop that up all nice and square. So then what I'm doing is I'm taking and cubing this into 3/4 or 1/4 inch blocks. Now you're gonna say, it's 3/4 inch. It's gonna be 3/4 inch by an inch by an inch. So then what I'm going to have to do, you'll see later on when I go to carve it down, I'll carve it down so it's, it's 1 inch high, and then 3/4 or close to 3/4, diameter. So, but I just went ahead and, and cubed this out. And then again, this would be another area where, having a table mounted hot wire cutter would be just amazing, So hopefully I can talk to that guy. If you haven't went and checked out his channel, he shows you how to make them. Like you can go to his website, and he shows you how to make like all those things, and it's just amazing. And like he even did he did a cool logo for me on his links page and his website. He did that all for free. Like I mean, it's all really nice and stuff. Really nice guy. Carlos, that's his name. I couldn't think of it. Carlos. Yeah. So hopefully he makes me one of those. So you can see there, I just cut out cubes, pretty much, almost cubes. There. A little bit off balance, but then I'm going to take my X-Acto blade and pretty much make like I think it's called octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8 sides, octagon. So I'm like octagoning it and, cutting out the sides, and then I cut it down so it's, about 3/4 inch in diameter on all of it. And then I'm going to take sandpaper again, my sandpaper. I'm going to use the 100 grain again first. This is 100 grain, the coarser stuff. So it's, with sandpaper, like, it works like this. So if it's 100 grain, what they're talking about, it's 100 grains of sand per every inch? Half inch? I'm not sure. Something like that. It's talking about the number of grains of sand, I think. I'm pretty sure. I think that's how it works. Yeah, because then the smaller stuff, 220 grains in an inch, it'd be a lot finer sand to fit that much. Yeah, so the higher the number, the finer the quality of the sandpaper. I think that's how it works, if I remember right. So then what I did was I took that 100 grain, and on those cubes, after I octagoned it, and then I just smoothed it down, rounded it out, and I'm making columns out of it. And then I took finer sandpaper, this is 220 grain here, and just smoothed it out a little bit more to have a smoother edge on it. It's not, super important. The 100 grain makes it pretty smooth, but I just wanted to smooth it out a bit more, so I did. Just to make it nice and round. So I'm going to go ahead, and I went ahead and did a whole, or not a whole bunch, but quite a few of those up for now. And I'll probably need more later on, but it's a good start. So you can see there, yep, I got some of them done up, and I imagine I'll need some more, but I got some for now. And then I wanted to show you guys kind of my idea or what I'm thinking for my fencing right now. I wanted to make this like kind of older style cemetery, but have it like this is where the richer people would have been, or where this is, this would have been like a bigger town area's cemetery, a little nicer with nice columns and stuff. So I wanted to have like columns for the fencing, and then have this. This is floral wire, because this would be pretty easy. I can pretty much cut it, poke it in, and it'll stay there in the foam and stuff. So I want to take that, and then those are coffee stirrers. The ones that looks like it looks like two straws are glued together. It's like double barreled or whatever. They're cheap. They're plastic. And hopefully, oh, and this is what I want to show you guys. I found this at Walmart. It's made by Fiskars, and I think Exacto makes one too. But what it is, I mean, look at the grip on it. It's really nice. What it is, it's a swivel, like a swivel Exacto blade. The blade's really short. Like, I mean, it wouldn't work for like cutting through foam or anything like that unless it was really thin. But it'll work really good for like paper or plastic or like cardboard type stuff. It'll work really good, and the blades are interchangeable, so I mean you can keep it nice and sharp. And it wasn't, I mean, it's like $8 or $8 for the thing, and then the blades, it's like $3. You get a couple of them or something like that. But I wanted to show you guys that. Also, like, it was pretty cool. So you can see there. Oh, and I wanted to show you guys my hills, kind of, after I sanded it down. So that's what it looks, and then it'll match up all nice once it gets all, gooped up and stuff. So, well, thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure, remember, this is a challenge between me and Terrain Noob for making this. So go check out Terrain Noob's channel and see how he's doing. Thanks again for watching, guys. Keep stay tuned for the next episode. Have a good one.